Hey guys and girls. Well, I had a little bit of a problem with the C10. I went to the gas station the other night, and the freeze plugs were just dripping, barely any water, and we were at temperature. But I decided to shut that baby down because we don't need a freeze plug blowing out while we're going down the highway and overheat what potentially could be an engine. You know, it's doing about 85% or so. I mean, she's not 100%, that's for sure. So I'm gonna do the right thing and pull the engine out and replace all the freeze plugs. Here she is. The freeze plugs are up behind the motor mount, so like basically impossible to get to. Also, I noticed these bolts here. This is pretty suspicious. We need to fix that when they did the swap. But yeah, it's up behind the motor mount, so you'll never get to it without pulling the engine up at least a little bit and removing the mount. Well, if I'm already going to do that, I might as well pull the whole thing out. And once I got the whole thing pulled out, I think I'll just stab the 305 in here, and that way I can stop and do the job right, you know what I mean? I am gonna get back to work on the Fiero though. Had to come up here to get my speaker, you know, my Bluetooth speaker. After the Fiero, we'll be looking at the Mazda, going into the one space in my garage. And after the Mazda, or maybe while I'm waiting for more parts on the Mazda, etc., I'll work on that Camaro. The Camaro, I was driving on the road and I had a lot of problems with the gas fueling, so I went ahead and I put the freaking electric fuel pump down by the tank, you know, kind of on the frame area, and then it was fueling correct. Then the transmission went out on me, so I replaced the transmission, and that's kind of where I was. I had to cut the exhaust out to replace the transmission. And while it was sitting here all this time, you know, the dog came and was chewing on the side and chewed up some wires, but we can fix that. This is a pretty nice, smooth running car. Actually, well, it was. You know, now it's been sitting for a little while. Let's see what the expiration was. A couple of years. It hasn't been inspected and licensed, but it's not dead, you know what I mean? It'll start right up, I'm sure. But the main course for today's video is going to be the Fiero. And I did get that kit. And I verified that the needle is the right needle. Here's the old needle. There's the new needle. Anyways, got the little spring, the little clip. Can you even see it? Yeah, there it is. I mean, I would have made a clip myself or got one from somewhere else, but I needed a gasket. I had torn the gasket when I took the top off, which, you know, I did put the top back on. And when it's filled up with gas, I got it running pretty, like revving pretty clean. Not starting super easy, but that's a curse of advanced timing. That's the main course. The appetizer, or the dessert maybe, depending on how I feel like doing it, is I'm gonna put these little spotlights, supposedly this kind of pattern. Let's just go with 99 meters is what it says. So anyways, hopefully these little lights will just fit on my headache rack already. On the 110. So let's take a look at that. I don't know if I feel like doing this first or last. I just did a heavy workout at the park. Burned over 500 calories for the run portion, supposedly. So I'm not feeling too springy right now. But let's get these lights out of here, and then see if they're gonna fit in the holes that are already in place. Why not, right? I can remove the other one. None of it's hooked up, but the headache rack already had holes, and it's gonna clear the top of my hood, the top of my roof, So I'd be interested in trying that out in a couple of hours when it gets dark. So let me go ahead and see what we can see. First, we'll get this box open and see what's in here. There we go. Oh, we don't want to lose all the garbage. There we go. Okay, some assembly required. On the picture, it looks like it has a stud, but maybe I have to have that bolt already, but I think I got some bolts that'll work anyways. So it looks like I have to assemble some brackets, and then I don't know, oh, that's the part of that. Okay, so we just got positive and negative. I'm assuming red is positive and black is negative, but you never know. Grade A Chinesium, they do some strange things. Supposedly this is weatherproof, right? That's what it says. Unless IP67 means not weatherproof. Like for example, if I gave something a flame retardant rating, a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being most retardant and 1 non-retardant, right? If I said flame retardant level 1, you might think it's flame retardant, but maybe it's not at all, right? So we don't know if that's the games they're playing. These weren't very expensive. I got them at AutoZone, so we'll see. Let's see how these little brackets look. Oh, it has like a carriage bolt that fits into this slot, like so. Okay. And then I'm guessing this one goes across, like so. Okay. Well, this ain't so bad. And then that way we can get some adjustability in different 2 axes. All right. I mean, do you even really need a washer? I don't think so, but a lock washer would have been better than a flat washer, guys. Oh, there's the lock washer. Okay. We'll just put both. I don't know how they expected this to work, but you know, the directions are laying right there, but we're not going to be using those. And I probably got enough of that extension cord left over. And we'll go with that. I'm just dummying these up, you know, for right now. And that. And this. We'll have a little bit of a change of angle, and I'll jump up there and put those lights kind of in place. Man, it's kind of awkward to be reaching over this bed like this, but hey, we're going for it. Nice. What do you think makes the lock washer lock? That the metal bites in, or the spring tension that the lock washer is under when you tighten it, right? Because it flattens those 2 pieces down. There we go, like this. I'm pretty sure it's a spring tension. Not that this is actually gripping into anything. They make a different kind of washer to grip into stuff. I don't know what that washer's called, but it doesn't look like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and aim it up here. Alright, first thing, I'm going to get this light off. It came with this headache rack. I don't know if it works. Ugh, it's on there though, that's for sure. Might have to get inventive to hold this thing in place all the way to the ground. That's what you're hoping for, really. When it gets stuck somewhere in the vehicle, it's a problem. Oh my gosh. It's moving inside the housing too. Okay. She wants to play hardball. All you had to do is get serious and then it gives up. I just had to let it know we weren't going to be messing around. You know what? Actually, this wiring looks pretty decent, to be honest. I can reuse this wire. Got a wire grommet and everything. Then all I got to do is run the wire in the cab from somewhere. There's a piece at the end here that doesn't look too good, but the LEDs don't carry too much amperage, right? So that's one good thing. Should have brought a ratchet. Anyways, I'll pull that out. Let me get one of these dummied up in here so we can see what that's going to look like. The bolt does seem to be long enough. Might have to put some kind of riser on it, actually. Got to step that hole out with the step bit because the shank on the carriage bolt or whatever. Oh, I could probably just put a couple washers. All right, let's see how this looks. Let's see if you can even see it from the front. Yeah, I think the light's going to be bouncing off the roof of the truck a little bit. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it looks at night. The other thing I could do is put it up here in the front, which probably makes more sense. I hate to drill through that thick metal though. It's going to smoke some drill bits for sure. And then off to the side, that might be an option, but this is awfully thick too, right? We'll see how it looks. I think it'll probably be okay. Let's see how bright these lights are. That freaking heat shrink might be a problem with me putting it on the battery, but maybe not. I do like these Ford hood release better than Chevrolet of the same year. Smooth right here. Don't knock your head on it. This is sticking out though, but you just push this latch down. Seems a little better thought out. Let's see. what this baby has to offer. These wires are awfully thin, but will you be able to see that? Yeah, barely. So we could ground off of here. No? It's not how you want to do it? Okay. Just trying to ground off the body. Yeah, it's bright. We'll see if we can see them at night. That's all I can do. So I'm gonna get some wiring together and look for some different hardware maybe to mount it with, and we'll get going. Well, unfortunately, I had to take a phone call and I didn't want to stop working. So I continued to work on this thing without recording because the audio wouldn't be usable anyways. But let me go ahead and hit the switch. And this is just those lights only. You can see it hitting the house. It's not completely dark outside yet, but hey, there you go. See, right there's the level of the hood, but that's pretty low. That's about 4 feet. That's about 5 feet. Nah, maybe this is about 5 feet. And that's about 6 feet. So all the jacked up lifted truck's gonna get her right in the eyes, which is what we want, because they don't know how to dim their headlights. We're gonna teach them. And so that's probably all I'm going to get done today, and then I'll pick up on the Fiero later on in the video, but that'll be tomorrow. Hey, I got this Camaro, a battery. It's not really for this Camaro, it might be for the Fiero, but if the Fiero battery has any problems, I'll have one for it. But I also I'm gonna see about this, because this is next up on the order of vehicles to get fixed. Find a spot that's not gonna result in me getting my head crushed in. So we need to see if I robbed any parts off this thing that matter, because I've been known to do that. And then we're gonna put a battery in it and see what's up. Looks like I actually used a fan clutch for once. There's gas in the carb. There's no water in the radiator, and I see I took the plug out, so I need to put that back in. Probably get this baby fired up, move it around the yard. Dang, this thing's low. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that drain hole too easy. It looks like I took the radiator cap off and put it somewhere. Not a big deal. We can move it backwards a couple of inches. Get it off that stuff so I can get under there and see how this battery looks in here. Yeah, it'd be fine. Got the factory hold down there still installed. We'll use that if it comes to it. Perfect. Almost like I know what I'm doing some of these days. Okay. Hook the positive up first, that way you don't get any sparks and stuff. like I need a 9/16 and a 3/8. Why? Because, you know. Alright, back with some wrenches. Now I suspected 3/8. I was wrong. It was indeed 5/16, which I also brought. Man, this negative cable's too short. Gotta move the battery over. No big deal. We'll get a longer negative cable. I got one laying here anyways from an extra from when I was working on that C10. If things had played out differently, this motor would have ended up in the C10, but I got this Camaro many years ago before that C10. But this motor would have really done it some justice. It could still end up in there maybe, depending on how the cards play out. Like if I wanted to sell this Camaro, I wouldn't leave this engine in it. This engine's too valuable. Alright, we got a battery. We got fuel. I'm gonna put these to the side. It's gonna rumble. I might go with a bigger air cleaner too. But let's just see if it'll start so I can back it up. I'm gonna turn the key on and see if the carburetor floods over, and if it doesn't, we'll crank it. I hear the electric fuel pump. Fuel's going through the filter, which looks clean, which is nice. I think we're building pressure. That's why nothing's happening. This thing needs to be clean. And all these hoses and stuff need to be sorted out. Let's crank it. Yeah, she's got fuel. What is missing? I don't know if this distributor is adjusted properly, but let's move it a little bit and see what happens. Nothing. It's possible I removed this distributor and put it back wrong. I do things like that. Let's go with a little taste of starter fluid. That gas might be too old. Might be part of the issue. give it a little boost. That ought to do something. Let's see. This time I'll massage the gas pedal a little bit, keep it running. I think the gas is lacking of all octanes. That should have ran. Crank the timing a little bit. There he is. Fucking yellow jacket got me in the back. But I didn't know if it was a scorpion or a spider or what it could be. So we'll keep going. Hopefully we don't find the nest. This thin shirt did not offer any protection. Oh, got me right in the back. Okay, let's try it some more. Stupid yellow jacket. He's gonna be pissed when I get this thing started. It's like one of the brakes is locked up or something. It's not pulling too strong. The engine sounds fine, but the I might have been driving over these blocks and stuff. Yeah, who knows? So we gotta get some water in it so I can let it idle. Let's see what's on this side. It is on this side. Damn, you get lucky once in a while. Now we'll go ahead and fill it up with water. We can let it idle. Check the oil first. I guess you could say check the oil second, because I didn't check it yet. I don't know where that wasp came from, but we don't need to meet again. Okay. Oil is pretty good looking, actually. Might have changed it once in a while. Oh yeah. Down half quart, no big deal. We'll get some water in this, get it on level ground, check the transmission. You know, let it idle for a while. Got no radiator cap, but we can fix that. They don't cost that much. By the way this fluid looks, it needs a good flush anyway. Okay, let's see if it's going to crank up again. And then I'll go ahead and move it. Let's help it out. We're going to be going up the hill, so we'll get a view at least. Hopefully. All right, enough distractions. It's time to get back on this Fiero. It started raining on me as soon as I moved the car, so I just came and turned the camera off and moved it in. But I did move the car back to the front of the house, so I'll have to look at it in my way and I'll work on it. Oh, I can't even see it. It needs a, you know, fresh gas and a tune up and all that, but there she sits. So we need to put exhaust on it and fix the wiring and get it inspected and all of that. But the Fiero just presumably only needs the needle, that new carb gasket on the top, and it needs a couple of other little odds and ends, some wiring fixed. I removed the choke, as you can remember, because we don't need a choke where we're going, so this just stays open now. And this one will still work off the gas, I'm thinking. Oh, that little linkage is moved out of the way. I need to make sure that linkage doesn't get in the way. Let's see. Nah, it doesn't really. We're not gonna be racing anybody in this thing. So if you remember, I had this little piece right here and this Y, a bunch of weird stuff going on you probably don't understand. So this is the return. This is the fuel to the carburetor, and this is the return back to the tank, right? So I got this fuel filter, which has the bypass, which is the smaller one, and then the 3/8 for the larger one. So we're gonna put that there instead of this funky plastic Y that was leaking. We're gonna put this here, right? Much better. And then we'll hook this line to it, and you know, we're gonna make it right. We don't wanna catch on fire again. And I say again, the first one I didn't capture on camera, but it happened when I was moving this car out of storage. So I'm gonna put the battery on the charger and go eat lunch, and then when I come back, I'm gonna work on this thing for several hours straight. I gotta charge this GoPro because I didn't charge it, and we're gonna find out if we have more problems or not quick enough. That camera is really shaking around. So we're gonna get the top off of the carburetor once again. Should be easier this time since the choke's gone, I'm thinking. These stupid screws don't strip out on me. Okay. All right. Okay. I think there's only 6. Why is that one a Phillips head? I could answer that question, but you're not gonna like it. Get this baby off, get the new gasket on, get the needle in. I don't even know if that even had to come out. Let's see, how long is it? Oh yeah, it was probably holding it on. Let's see. Pull these off by hand. Oh, there's one in the center. I forgot about that one. Too bad this isn't like some of the other carburetors where you can leave the top off and check the float. I don't think. I'll look at it and see. Maybe it's these two that don't actually need to come off. That freaking screen is already broken. That's how it arrived. Fully flow tested though. You know. That's what they claimed. Get out of there. Oh, that sucker's long. That looks better without it, but if I just had a little flat piece of screen, that seemed to make more sense to me. Anyways, I'm going to have to manufacture an air filter adapter of some sort like I did before. So we'll do that as well. Okay. I put these in the box with the carburetor pieces. That'll probably be safe. Nope. Gonna lose it immediately, but that's okay. This carburetor probably came in, didn't work. They put it on the bench, put a squirt of gas in it, it ran, then they dipped it, and then they put it for sale again. What do you think? Is that plausible? They would never do that in Mexico, would they? Go. This is all just a stupid setup, but it's the first tools I grabbed. Okay. This one I did only by hand because I knew this was coming off again. The old accelerator pump. That just slides out of the way. Screw this back in because we'll never find another one. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, the fuel comes in through here. And then if you look at the gasket, the fuel comes in and then just all over the place, right? So here's the accelerator. And then this gasket I tore, taking it off to figure out what my problem was before. Okay. Now, this needle goes inside here. I need to make me a little bit of a fuel line adapter. Too bad these won't reach, you know, that would be cool. I think I can steal the one off of the 350. Holly, that is. They don't look like they're going to be the same size threads, but maybe. I got some different stuff here. We can see what kind of adapters we can make. We might be able to find something that'll work. This looks too big to me, but that's just going off looks. Let's see. I'm putting a little bit different attachment for a reason. So this big chonker looks like it can come off, and then it might expose a smaller, more user-friendly hookup. Although I don't know what size wrench it is. The problem with crescent wrenches is that they're sometimes just too bulky to fit in the spot you need them to. That's okay. Okay. I'm gonna pull this off. There's probably a filter in there and some springs and stuff, but we'll be careful. Yeah, there's a filter. The spring can stay there. This is gonna make it easier. That's a nice size filter, actually. There's the spring. This will make it easier to get the right adapters. So I need to adapt my fuel line to this. And my little piece of fuel line is here, which is the wrong size. So I need a little piece of brake line. Gotta look for one. Well, that took longer than it should have, but I got me a little piece of brake line. I had to go to the store to do that. So now I have to figure out how I want to route this. And do I want to screw it in here and then pull a U-turn and go back this way? I think that's the best thing to do. So it'll screw in about like this, and almost lost the seal. So it'll screw in about like that, and then I pull a 90 up and then a 90 back. That should be good. So we can make a tight 90 up, and then I'll screw it back in. No, then I won't be able to. Yeah, I will. So we're gonna figure this out and make it nicer than it was before. First thing, I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing back in. I am not going to be putting this filter back in because I'll be running filters that are more easy to change. So don't worry, we got filters. We know cars, and they don't last. They don't go forever without needing a filter changed. And this is a little bit of a pain. That thing's not going in super smooth, but I couldn't tell you why. It's literally the piece I just took out of here. Let's see here. Gonna find the right size wrench for it real quick. I'm thinking 15/16, maybe 1 inch. Well, where are my wrenches? Okay, it's 1 inch, but my 1-inch wrench is not in the toolbox. I used it on some other stuff, so we're just gonna get it started. And I found this socket, which should help me twist it. Just twist it on in there. All right. Now I shouldn't need this too much. Life likes to give me lemonade. So, okay, we'll put a ratchet on it. Want to play hardball. I knew this car was going to be this way because it's just been this way the whole time. So, you just got to know this is what we're dealing with here. Don't go too tight. But that little plastic seal was not behaving. How much more is there? Okay, not much more. If it leaks, we'll hit it a little bit more, but I don't want to go too crazy and crack my freaking carburetor. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it, see if that part's going to leak. Along with this line part as well. How we doing on battery? 81%. Stupid GoPro. I can't find the good pipe bender, the bigger one. So we're going to try to make this one do, although it's 3/16 and not 3/8. So that's going to be dodgy. But maybe we can make it work. Let's see, without destroying it. I'm going to put the fitting on the right end. That would help. Okay. See what happens. It's working. But I could probably do better by hand. Is that going to be enough run out? I'm going to bend that U-turn into it. Let's see. I don't want to kink it. Just move a little bit further down. Not too bad. We're getting there. Worst case scenario, I just have to cut the end off and just use this part only. But I think we can make this work. Don't give up just yet. A little bit more and we'll be there. Because I still got to put an air cleaner on this thing, don't forget. Okay. About like that. They're roughly parallel. You catching this? You picking up what I'm putting down? So we screw this one in like so, right? Come on. Right? So see, that's gonna go back. That's gonna be pretty decent. I mean, we can massage it a little bit, but I think that's pretty good, right? Right. There we go. Let me bring you in for a close view. See, that's how the fuel line's gonna go now. We just made that little S turn around, or a little 180, and then the fuel line will come out this way and then hook up to the fuel hose, you know. So I'm gonna get that done. Probably go ahead and put the time lapse on. I'm gonna put the needle in and reassemble the float and put the little clip on it and all that stuff, and then we'll go from there. Wanted to bring you in and show you how this little clips on. Not very easy to see on the camera, but that's how it clips on, and then this top part of the clip clips onto the little end of the float. This little metal area right here, and that's literally all it does. Let me get the camera here. I'll show you. So something like that. Like seriously, that's all. And then you wonder why they can fall out, right? But it only moves a little bit, because this moves a lot, but the needle only moves a tiny amount. So that's how that goes. I'm gonna keep going, putting it together. I went ahead and installed the throttle return spring in the bracket because, you know, that's going to be necessary so we can tune it. I got a bunch of wires freaking laying here, but this one seems to know where it's supposed to go. This one's the power wire. And I know we tapped in the fuel pump somewhere. That's not it. That's the license plate light. Anyhow, let's see. Maybe it gives power to the fuel pump as well. No, just ignition. Okay, we don't need ignition right now. I just want to turn the fuel pump on and see if it's going to overflow or not. So let's make sure we got the wiring right. Okay, this is definitely going to the fuel pump. All right, let's go ahead and just put some fuel in, see what happens. I hear it in the carburetor. Hasn't overflowed yet. Now that pump is not going to change the sound too much because we got that bypass. Nothing appears to be leaking. Do we have a... I don't know how much fuel is making it to the carburetor. The accelerator pump's not really playing ball. So let's see. If I pinch that bypass off, what will happen? You hear the difference in the sound? Well, it's not overflowing. That much is certain. So that's good. Nothing appears to be like terribly leaking. Let's see. The accelerator pump is not quite doing what I want it to do. Anyways, let's go ahead and crank it and see what happens. See if we can get it to maintain just running, and then we'll go from there. All right. Yeah. So now we have ignition and fuel. I'm going to turn it on. Idle's awfully high, but let me adjust that. A little bit high on the idle. The timing might be a little bit off. I'm not gonna go too crazy adjusting on it because this thing hasn't, I got the fan going, that's why you can see the smoke blowing that way. I haven't run this thing in quite a while, so I'm just gonna kind of let it run. There's water in it, but I gotta go get the cap off the Camaro because I used it earlier. I'm gonna have to get my fuse for the fan too. So that's probably gonna do it for this video. We got her running. I'm gonna put everything up and put all my tools up and get everything ready for the test drive. And then I gotta think about an air filter adapter or something. So I'm gonna look online and see if I can find something on eBay or somewhere else that fits that carburetor, because it's got this weird square opening. But if I have to make one, this carb kit came with this, so I can make exactly the right size. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll be testing this thing out more in the future, and like and subscribe and help me out with the algorithm. It doesn't cost you anything. See you next time. Bye.